It really is amazing how one particular car can change based on the trim. For example, this 2026 Ford Explorer Tremor. Yes, the Ford Explorer also got the Tremor treatment, just like its siblings. Pretty much the entire lineup has the Tremor package, which is basically Ford's light off-road packages. So it includes a very aggressive front end. It does have off-road ready tires. The ground height goes up to 8.7 inches. Welcome to my channel. I am going to talk about this 2026 Ford Explorer Tremor. All the specs, the features, all the off-road hardware, and the capabilities that it can do, and the features inside. And if you're new here, I do car reviews, a little bit of DIY stuff. So make sure you click that subscribe button down below. And before I continue, I want to give a big thank you to Ford for allowing me to have this beautiful Ford Explorer and Tremor in my home test area for me to live with and review for you guys. Stay tuned, that is coming up. All right, let's talk 2026 Ford Explorer Tremor. As you guys can see, this thing is mean and in charge. And out front, I turn on all the lights. You guys can see those two lights on the grille are off-road lights. They will only be activated once you put the high beams on. Case in point, that's why you guys see me have the high beams on. The headlights are full LED, as you guys can see. It's flickering on camera, but that's not how it is in life. Unfortunately, that's how when you film LED headlights look like on film. But this top portion is the LED daytime running light and turn signal, as you guys can see. Of course, you have low beam LED, high beam LED, and LED fog lamps. This one being the Tremor, you get about an inch of ground clearance compared to the standard one. You get these knobby orange recovery hooks. You do get front parking sensors all over the front. You do get a 360 camera, which we'll go over in the interior section, on each mirror. And let's talk about this thing. This thing is a badass machine. This color is called Marsh Gray, even though I don't see gray anywhere. Maybe you guys can see. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. And this one being the Tremor version, it comes with Bridgestone Dueler tires wrapped in 260. There are 265, 65 on 18-inch wheels. I do like this special little color here, code orange, and that's what the air valve is, so you guys can fill it up. And this thing is mean. You do get black mirror caps, integrated turn signals, as you guys can see. You do get keyless entry on all four doors, so you can of course put your hand on the door handle. It unlocks. You can lock it like so. And this guy, let me put the camera here. You do get a panoramic sunroof in this one because this is a top trim and it has every single possible option. And the Explorer has come a long way since the olden days. And back here, the LED treatment continues. As you guys can see, these headlights and taillights got changed in 2025. So that's how you can tell them apart. Very subtle changes, but they're minimal. So as you guys can see, the turn signals LED, reverse light, everything's LED, and you get this little kind of like a C-clamp shaped LED. You do get the parking sensors back here. You also have a class 3 hitch receiver. You do have the 7-pin connector here. You got your connections there. And Tremor badging right here, because this is a Tremor. Explorer is spelled out in black right here. Of course, integrated wiper, a very big spoiler. And this is how you get into the trunk. Let's take a look at the trunk since we're back here. In terms of space, the dimensions are exactly the same like the standard Ford Explorer. I will leave the cargo numbers up front here, and the seats are power folding, so you can press this button right here. You can press this button right here to activate, to raise them, and the headrests are like so, which we'll go over in the interior section. And then if you want to fold them individually, you can just press this guy here, and it folds the right side only, to maximize your cargo capability. And then if you want to fold the other one, you just press the right button and it folds both of them. And one thing I want to point out, oh, and you do get a little underfloor storage, and something worth mentioning in 2026, you get an 18-inch donut. Yes, it's sad that we have to mention this in 2026, but a lot of car companies and vehicles are going away from spare tires, but this is a 18-inch donut. Of course, it's here. The jack is underneath it. So I feel obliged to mention that to you guys. And this thing, you just place it like so, and it has Velcro right here, and you lock it up. You do have a subwoofer, because this has the B&O sound system, 980 watts and 14 speakers. You get grocery hooks everywhere back here. You do have also a traditional Cigar Star outlet right here. And yeah, let's continue our review. If I can put this back on here the right way. Oh, and you do get cargo hooks everywhere, so you can of course tie down your cargo. Cup holders for the rear seats, but which we'll go over in a second. And before we go in the interior, let's take a look at what's powering this behemoth. And let me see if I could do this with one hand without burning myself, because it is very hot today as I'm filming this. And underneath this large hood is the 3-liter twin turbo V6 that's making 400 horsepower and 415 pounds-feet of torque. Made it to an 8-speed, made it to a 10-speed automatic. Power, of course, going to all 4 wheels, because this is a 4-wheel drive vehicle with different drive mode selector. And that's pretty much it on the exterior. Let's jump on the inside, go over the tech, the features, the specs, and then we go for a quick and final drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step inside the 2026 Ford Explorer Tremor, and let me just turn it off. I had the car running because it is very hot today. I just want to show you guys what that looks like when you press lock. The mirrors fold in, and you press this guy twice, and let's see, lock, and then twice, and that's the remote start. So the vehicle will start right up. It will turn on the climate control whether it's a winter or the summer. Now that it's warm, it will turn on the climate control and the cool seats in the front, which is a pretty cool, nice touch. And if you want to turn it off, you just press that twice and it turns off. And at night, if you walk up to it, the vehicle will recognize you, that you came with the key, and then the mirrors will automatically unfold and the light turns on, kind of welcome you into the car. Again, the beauty is you could do this in all 4 doors, so you could just do this and open the back, which is pretty cool. And as you guys can see, the mirrors unfolded. And let's step inside. And materials are very nice. Fit and finish very nice. Even though this is supposed to be the rough and tough one, it's still very nice. Obviously, the materials are going to change based on the trim. So if you get, for example, the Active, which is the base model, then you get the Limited and the ST line, Platinum. Of course, everything's going to change. But this one being the Tremor, soft padded materials up here, very, very soft here. I do like the what Ford calls it, code orange stitching, because this is the Tremor. This one has the Bang & Olufsen sound system, 14 speakers, 980 watts, and it sounds phenomenal. Nice little aluminum speaker grill. This also lights up at night because it has ambient lighting. Of course, your window controls are here, mirror controls. Mirrors, of course, are power folding, as you guys can see. It does have 3-position memory, which is very nice for the mirror and the seat. And let's talk about these seats. These seats are actually very comfortable. They do get a little hot because they're suede and leather. And as you guys can see, there's more of that, the Tremor badging, more of that code orange stitching all over the seats. This has They're also massaging seats, both of them. And this has four-way lumbar support, so you can of course adjust it many ways. And I'm happy to report four-way lumbar support on both sides, passenger and driver. And the pockets are decent. Yeah, you can put decent sized cups here. Ford gives you a lot of little Easter eggs everywhere. So here's a little skyline of a city. Right here, you got more stuff. You got pretty much everywhere on the other side as well. It does come with these all-weather mats, which is nice because it's a Tremor trim. And getting in here, it is a little high. If you're on the short side, you have to kind of climb up. Oddly enough, there is no grab handle for the driver's side, which is interesting. And this is what modern day Ford Explorers look like, if you haven't been in one in a long time. And let me put my phone there. So let me turn on the car because it is warm. In front of me, you do have a full LCD display right in front of me here, as you guys can see. So fully customizable, so you can do things like you can see the fuel economy, you can see trip one, trip 2, fuel economy. You have the tire pressure gauge. You do have the off-road view. You can customize it to my view. And one cool thing that this has is, here's the map view. So what this does, it actually activates the map, which is pretty cool, I gotta say. So it will show you the turn-by-turn navigation where you are. It does not have a heads-up display, which is a very interesting omission on this particular trim. You can't get it in any, you can't get it even as an option. Other trims you can get it, but this one you cannot. But anyway, and then there is the driver assistance screen, which this vehicle does have Ford Blue Cruise, which is Ford's automated cruise control, which is completely hands-free according to this. And as long as you're looking forward, you can completely take off your hands off the wheel. And these guys here will keep an eye on you, making sure you're paying attention, and they will yell at you. And super easy to use. These are the instructions. And it's only designed to work on certain major highways, not everywhere. I tried it. It is very cool to see it working. And also you have a calm screen. If this is too busy for you, then you go in here and that's all you see. That is all you see. You see your fuel, miles per hour, and that's it. And your gears and your turn signal, obviously. That's pretty much it. And going back to, I like to keep it in the fuel economy screen, even though fuel economy here is not that great. It's rated for 19. Let me get the window sticker out of here. So according to the window sticker and the EPA, it is rated for 17 miles per gallon in the city, 22 highway, and about 19 combined. This does have a 20-gallon tank. Keep in mind, this is a big vehicle. It's heavy. It does have a lot of hardware. And my tester is, the MSRP is $64,405. It is very, very loaded. It's not a base model Tremor. One of the options, as you guys can see, is $11,850, which is crazy. But it's pretty much fully loaded. Basically it's not missing anything. But anyway, moving to the center screen, this is also new. This came out in 2025 model. So Ford removed the physical climate controls. They are now integrated into this static bar down here. Dual zone climate control, obviously. You can also control the rear, so you can turn on the rear climate right here, and the temperature will be synced, of course, to the front. And so the kiddos don't drive you guys insane, you can lock out the rear so they don't go nuts. And this is running Android Automotive. What that means is you have native Google Maps, as you guys can see. You have native Google Maps here, and it's super cool, super snappy, very quick to use. just like your phone. You can zoom in, you can pretty much do anything you want, which again, it's super cool to use. It does have, of course, built-in baked-in Google Assistant as well. And I'm sure if you use the wake word, it will respond to you. This is kind of like the setup screen. So here you can set up the ambient lighting, which is very nice. As you guys can see, it is on all 4 doors. Thank you, Ford, for doing that. Some cars won't do it on all 4 doors. And this little center section here, which is this little guy here, that also lights up, which is very nicely. And I gotta say, this material here is very, very nice. No piano black in here anywhere, which is wonderful. And I hope every car company can get this, because piano black, which is AKA shiny piano black, is very annoying and gets dirty very quickly. Here you can activate the massaging seats, as you guys can see. So here you can adjust the lumbar. So if you go up, down, now it's adjusting the lower bolstered. You could do 10 different ways. You could do the middle. So there's the middle bolsters, and then you can do the top. Also, very infinite amount of ways. So, which is very cool. And you could do this pretty much for both seats, both driver and passenger. Let me just put it back to 1. And you can turn on massaging seats. As you guys can see right now, is set to, you have lower rolling, you have upper rolling, circular cushion, and right now my behind is getting massaged, full recovery, and then you have relax recovery. So this is either good or very bad, especially if you're driving. You may fall asleep while you're driving, but nonetheless, it's pretty cool. And then you could, of course, also adjust that for the passenger if it lets me do it. Oh, it's not doing it because it knows no one is sitting there, which is very clever. Indicated by this. As you can see, no passenger airbag is off, so it knows it will not activate it until somebody's sitting there. Controls are very easy to use. Everything's very straightforward. You have vehicle controls here. Here you can control the sound settings for the sound system, volume settings, ringtone for when somebody's calling you, Bluetooth setup here, Ford Blue Cruise. Of course, you got adaptive cruise control, the pre-collision warning, the lane keep assist. You could do alert. You could do alert and aid. So this way it will actually steer you back into the lane. The intensity, if you want it to be normal, you could do normal. Vehicle settings, the lighting does have automatic headlights and daytime running lights, of course. The delay for the headlight auto lamp. Pretty much everything. The Bluetooth Wi-Fi spot here, the onboard hotspot. And if you do set up your Google account to this, you can go to the Play Store, and you could download whatever you want, pretty much. And I don't know, let me see if the internet is available on this thing, because if you click on YouTube, and there it is, actual real YouTube in the car, which is pretty cool. So you could do, of course, also YouTube Shorts. You can do it's asking you for, oh, and there it is. That's actually a YouTube short. So yes, it is connected to YouTube. Yep, there it is. So you can pretty much full-blown go and research. Let me see if I could do this. Shameless self-plug. Let me see if it lets me do it. Let's see. Let's see if I can find my channel. Aha! You can find your favorite YouTuber. And you could, of course, you see everything here, which is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. And this is a 13.2 inch screen. It is high def, so you can see pretty much everything. And if you guys are curious, I also reviewed the non-Tremor version of this. If I go to the Ford playlist, and yes, I reviewed this vehicle back in 2025, and there it is, the 2025 Explorer Platinum. So make sure you guys subscribe to see that. But super useful, super straightforward. It is upgradable over the air, and fit and finish in here is nice. You do have USB-C right here, which is also for the CarPlay and Android Auto. USB-A. You do have another cigarette style outlet outlet there. This is for the automatic start stop, parking sensors on and off, the hazard button. This activates the camera, so you guys can see the 360 camera here, and you can get the different kind of views. You can get this view. This is the trailer view, so it has a trailer cam. So a lot of different very useful views. And here you can just do this, and it kind of zooms in on each side. Super useful, useful tech. The parking sensors, that's actually the front camera. When you put it, of course, in reverse, it will activate the rear camera with trajectory lines and also the backup sensors. That's pretty much it. Again, the sound system is excellent. Engine start button right here. Steering wheel is also simple. It is also heated steering wheel. On the left side, that's where the automated cruise control buttons are. Volume up and down, mute. You can set your speed, your distance here. It does have paddle shifters, so you can put it in manual mode and shift your own gears. It is a 10-speed automatic. There's no CVT here. Lighting controls are on this side. So right now I have it set to auto. That's on. It indicates on the cluster. That's on. Those are the parking lights, and that's fully off. I, of course, set it to auto because why not? And it does have automatic high beam. The shifter is a rotary dial, parking brake right here, and this is your drive mode selector. And let's go over them. So you have tow and haul mode. So if you're towing, you set it to this. The transmission will set itself to towing. You do have sport mode. You have eco mode. You have normal mode. You have slippery. And it does a little nice animation. It does have off-road mode. Once you do this, then as you guys can see, it activates the front-facing camera so you can see your trails, and this tells you where your wheels are doing. So super cool if you're off-road and really want to see what's going on. In this vehicle, I forgot to mention, it does have a skid plate in the front, which is metal. So if I put it back to normal mode, vehicle comes back to life. Normal, you do got two cup holders here, a decent sized cubby, and you do have another power source in here. If I could get this out of the way. There it is. I don't know if it lights up at night. I haven't checked. And again, the seats are super comfortable, and you do have this ginormous panoramic glass. It does not open, but it does have a motorized shade. So you can, of course, press that, and it will stop pretty much right here. So if you just want kind of like a fake sunroof where it's just a front passenger, but if you want to close it all the way, you can, of course, close it all the way, and it will close like so. But for the purpose of this video, I will keep it open, and it goes all the way to the back, almost the entire length of the car. All right, let's step into the back seats, and then we go to the third seat, and then we go for my quick drive and final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step into the back seats of the 2026 Ford Explorer Tremor. The doors, I gotta say, they almost open 90 degrees, but it's still a decent sized wide opening, so you can come in here with your kiddos. And speaking of kiddos, I have my daughter's booster seat. As you guys can see, the latch anchors are here, so they're easier to get to. You can, of course, set it up right here. And yeah, super easy. This is a Chico booster seat. Not hard to set up. And back to the door panels. Door panel materials continue to be nice, even back here. So they're nice. The windows are not auto up and down, but they open all the way, which is a nice addition for the Ford to do that. There's more of that code orange stitching, more of that light materials, and under here is the ambient lighting. There it goes. It continues here. Decent sized pockets, a cup holder right here, and a nice step thing. So when you want to get into the third seat, you just press this button like so, and it slides over, and which we'll go over in the third seat in a little bit. Let's just go over the second row for a minute, and let's jumping out. You do get a grab handle back here, and if I move the seat, well, this is how I adjusted the seat. This is how I drive. This back seat it's in its forward position, but nonetheless, I do have plenty of leg room back here, plenty of spread room, and spinning the camera around, I do have a lot of decent sized amount of headroom, not too bad here. Controls for the climate are here. They're center mounted. You could of course control it. You can do both face and feet. It does have 2 level heated seats back here. You do have 2 USB-C ports. You do have a traditional power outlet right here. I would have liked to see Ford put an actual screen here, so this way the people in the back can actually can see the climate control instead of a dial. And I understand that this is easier, but nonetheless, pockets on both seats. And even though we're back here, you do get the little B&O little fancy grill. And again, this one comes with this all-weather floor mats, which are very beefy, and it does have a pass-through, so you can go through the back, which is convenient. And the cup holders are right here, so you get 2 in the middle, 1 in each door. Super convenient. This is a view of what it looks like from the back seat as a passenger. So, and yeah, these seats also recline, so you can do this, recline it like so. You can make yourself very comfortable. And again, this is the furthest I go. And now if I move it, now I can show you guys the kind of leg room you get. You get plenty of leg room. This seat is adjusted to how my ideal driving position. And if there's nobody sitting in the third seat, you have plenty of leg room, and you have room to really stretch out and put your feet underneath and be comfortable here, no problem. You do get your own climate vents up here, which are nice, roof mounted, LED lighting in the entire cabin, so which is nice. Actually, let me turn on the lighting back there, so this way I can, when I go to the third seat, you guys can see me well. And that's pretty much it back here. These seats are, and you can get, on different trims, you can get a bench seat. So this will be a bench seat back here instead of this captain's chairs. But again, the materials are nice back here as well. You do get a nice armrest. So spin the camera around. This is a nice, comfortable position here. And yeah, super comfortable. All right, let's jump into the third seat, and then we go for a quick drive of this 2026 Ford Explorer Tremor. Stay tuned for that. Let's jump into the third seat real quick. Again, just push this button right like so. This seat slides forward. You can of course keep a child seat in place. And let me jump in here. Close the door, and the seat, you can push it back. And yeah, it's a little tight back here. This seat, of course, you can move it. If the person in front of you is generous, they can move it forward. No USB-C ports on this side, but you do get a little cubby here. You do get a cup holder and little cubbies here. My knees are very high, and if I turn the camera around, yeah, the headroom it's okay. These headrests will get in the way, and will get in the visibility of the driver. Moving over to this side of the seat, there's where the 2 USB-C ports are here. More of that cubby, cup holder. You do get a speaker right here, and the window's a decent size, I gotta say. It's not like a penalty box, but it is a decent sized window, and you can have small children back here. And of course, you can get out this way, or you do this, and you can get out like so. All right, and let's take this Ford Explorer Tremor for my first drive and final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's drive the 2026 Ford Explorer Tremor. And let me lower the rear. Actually, turn that off because it is a little loud. And set this to a comfortable temperature. And here we go. And I gotta say, the first time I drove a modern day Explorer, which was the Platinum, I was surprised. I think that one might have been the 4-cylinder, the EcoBoost one. But this V6, first of all, I love the engine note, and it's real. It's not pumped in. It's not fake. It moves. It has power. Fuel economy. You don't buy something like this for fuel economy. There is no, as of yet, there is no hybrid Ford Explorer. If I reset this fuel economy here, and if you could put it in eco mode, but with 31-inch tires, raised suspension, I mean, this is not going to be great. You probably can see the 20, maybe get 22, 23 miles per gallon on the highway if you drive it in an efficient manner, obviously. But keep in mind that physics can't be fooled. So, but off the bat though, this thing, even though, yeah, you do hear the tire noise, obviously, because the tires are loud. But it does, the car does a good job of mitigating outside noises. I think Ford did a great job insulating you from the outside world. And if I turn around here real quick and get into my usual highway loop, hello little deer, and if I step on it, oh yeah, I mean, this thing just doesn't miss a beat, this 10 speed. And if I turn on the cruise control here, another very cool feature about this cruise control that it does is it automatically adjusts itself to the posted speed limit, because the camera can see the speed limit. And I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up, but let me see if I do the driver assistance screen, and if I set the following distance a little closer, it's doing the speed limit. And if I just raise it a little higher, it does a good job of keeping yourself in the lane, and it stays pretty much on point. There's no small corrections. I have reviewed other vehicles that do very tiny small corrections. Now it's yelling at me to touch the steering wheel, and you have to kind of give it a little tug for it to know that you're touching it. But nonetheless, it does a great job of keeping you in the lane, and of course following the distance. The person in front of me just started to slow down, so it slowed down to accommodate for the change in speed, and right now it's completely going back up again all on its own. And this is a very good tech if you have a very boring commute. I'm getting out of here, so let me just turn it off. It will do all the annoying stop and go, accelerate, brake nonsense all for you, to make your journey home a lot more pleasant. I absolutely love the tech. I think it's great, because it makes driving less annoying, especially when you're commuting back home. But anyway, this thing, I'm pleasantly surprised. Ford has come a long way from its plasticky blah interiors from the olden days. I'm talking very olden days. And look, MPG here, I'm getting 18.4 and that was me driving it in an efficient manner. Yeah, this is not going to be efficient with the V6. Now, the 2.3 turbocharged 4-cylinder may be better, obviously, because it's a 4-cylinder, even though it is turbo. And yes, if you want to shift it manually, you press a certain center button here, and then you can do cycle through all the speeds and do manual mode when you're in sport mode. But anyway, this has been, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sharing, for liking my videos. This has been my very first look and full review of the 2026 Ford Explorer Tremor. This stickers again for about $64,000, give or take, because it is fully loaded. One of the options is the upgraded sound system, Blue Cruise. I mean, it has pretty much everything. All 3 mirrors are auto dimming. It's fully stacked. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Ford, for allowing me to have this car in my home test area, and I will see you all on the next one. Take care and stay safe.